up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, tigerfitness.com, creator of that right bar, partner in Ambrosia, 015 Nutrition, Pump Chaser Supplements, as well as a IFBB Pro. So I have cancer again. That's right. Y'all saw the picture on the thumbnail. It's nasty. It's been there a while. It wasn't caught for some reason. The last time I went to dermatologist and I got this cancer cut out of my head. Now, before you guys get all like, for those of you who don't want me to die, and I think a lot of people on YouTube want me to die, judging by the comments. I'm sorry, not gonna die. Lucky for me, it's just basal cell carcinoma, and I didn't even need the Mohs treatment. Mohs is what they did on my forehead. It's where they basically cut as little as possible and they test it. Being that it's on my chest, they just cut it out, put an inch circumference around it, and cancer's completely gone. So here's the thing. The goal of this surgery was to be as non-invasive as possible. We had no idea how deep or wide or disgusting it would look. At least I didn't. So the doctor gave me an option to either scoop it out or go straight for the stitches. And I'm like, you know what? Let's see what's going to happen. I had no idea it would be that big and that ugly. It looks like I have a gaping vagina on my chest. So long story short, I get it cut out on Thursday, and Thursday afternoon, I flew out to Arizona for a soccer showcase with my daughter, Cammie. I was able to take the dressing off on Saturday morning. At that point, I realized it was more than just a superficial wound. It was it was literally Iron Man. Like I have an Iron Man thing in my chest. It was a bullet wound. It looks absolutely terrible, and even when it heals, I will have a crater in my chest. Lucky for me, my dermatologist / surgeon is my neighbor. So I texted her and I said, hey, man, I think we got to go for plan B, which is the complete cut. She's like, I absolutely agree. It's very deep and very wide. I will not laugh at saying that. And good news is, she's like, you know what? I'll get you in next week. Next Tuesday, 11:45 a.m. Central Standard, I will be getting my chest cut open. And I have no more cancer. My body is cancer-free. I've had multiple checks. I go every 6 months. And I'm completely cancer-free. And the cancer I did have, thank God, it was non-lethal. It'd be really hard. You'd have to wait a long time for basal cell carcinoma to be lethal. However, it will spread, and as it spreads, it can enter into tissues and muscles, and on your chest, it can get into your cardiac tissues. So getting it out was definitely a must, and I'm glad I got it out. Now I have the peace of mind that I'm cancer-free. I just have a hole in my chest. Now I'm able to train as hard as I want, do whatever I want, up to a point. I can't obviously do supported rows where I have a pad going into my wound, but I'm able to basically move normal, which I wouldn't have been able to go on this trip I did with Cammie because I cannot lift for 1 week over 10 pounds. I couldn't have put my luggage in the overhead. Imagine me, a 220-pound strapping pro bodybuilder, asking a young woman to put a bag in overhead for me. That would be weird. So, long story short, I'm able to train this week, but next week, nothing. I can't do shit. I can do cardio. I can walk. I could probably do some light occlusion training with 5-pound dumbbells. Maybe some leg extension, leg curl, again with the occlusion cuffs. This gives me a good time to go over occlusion training, so we'll do a whole series on that next week. And I'll also build up Loblinerlowdown.com. We'll get more footage on that. Of course, youtube.com/Lobliner. We'll get more podcasts. So we're going to use this time to build some good content. And of course, the other stuff I'm going to get into. So when people say, I'm sorry this happened, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but this is the biggest blessing in the world. So I literally got cancer here during my last prep for a boxing match. And then it was something I was still kind of getting over for my show, the Knox Classic. And then of course, ended up getting my pro card at Masters USA. And then I go ahead and I'm 14 weeks out from Chicago Pro, and I look the best I've ever looked. I mean, if you guys have been following me on Instagram at Marc Lobliner, I look amazing for me. Obviously, I don't look like Brandon Curry, don't look like Derek Lunsford, I don't look like Sean Clarita, but for Marc Lobliner, I'm looking pretty fucking good. Jose has me dialed in. Everything's right. Training's on point. Felix has been pushing me. And I literally get cancer and I have to take 4 weeks off of training hard. And I have to basically, man, I'm not doing a pro show this year. Just not July 22nd, because I'm going to have a really deep, thick scar that probably isn't going to heal for 8 or 9 months. So if I do compete, it would be if there's a pro show. I haven't looked it up in the November, December, January timeframe. I'm still going to guest pose. This is it. I'm guest posing August 6th at the Knox Classic. So I'm still going to guest pose. Like, I don't do crazy shit. Like, I don't need to time my steroids and my insulin and a lot of things that some guys, not all guys, but some guys like to do for shows and guest posing. I'll basically just get on stage on HRT and I'll look fucking shredded. I promise you, you come to the Knox Classic in Knoxville, Tennessee on August 6th. I promise you, you'll see the best Marc Lobliner you've ever seen. Shredded, dialed in, and a hell of a performance. I promise you that. But here's why I can't compete. And here's why this is a blessing. Of course, even if I wanted to compete, having a big zipper scar in my chest that hasn't faded, that won't accept. If you ever tried putting Protan on scars, it doesn't work. It needs to fade more naturally and get smaller. Dude, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but this is a blessing. I have too much going on. I can't say more due to non-disclosure agreements and everything else. We have some huge time-consuming, mind-share-consuming things coming from Ambrosia. Not only do we have Planta, which is the #1 selling protein and vitamin shop, we have Kinetic, which is the fastest growing pre-workout there. We have Ember, our new fat burner. We're coming out with No Morbidity, which is our appetite suppressant. That's bar none the best there ever was. They're bringing in Nectar and a bunch of other products. We're growing. We're expanding. The business is growing by a lot, and I can't say why else, but let's just say it's very time-consuming and very amazing for my family and my business partners, Mike Rashid and Sean Torbati and myself. MTS Nutrition, Tiger Fitness is growing this year, which is crazy because we're such a mature company. The Outright Bar, we just closed over 1,000 new grocery stores in the past couple weeks, through our distributor Lipari Foods. We're also opening up a facility in Franklin, Tennessee. I want you to follow Carbon Culture USA on Instagram, or follow me. I will be posting about it. I'm doing another video on it. So we're opening basically, there's a club called Franklin Athletic Club. It's over 30,000 square feet. I don't know I know the exact square footage, but I don't want to misstate it. It's very large. Let's put it to you this way. It's going to have the top of the line gym equipment, including Arsenal. It's going to have Revive is going to be in there with their HRT clinics. We're going to have drip therapy. We're going to have Botox. We're going to have a complete gym. What I'm going to be in charge of there will be the youth performance section of it. So it's going to be called Legacy at Carbon. My good friend and colleague Bryce Beal is actually moving out here. He owns a facility called Legacy Performance in Illinois. We're essentially moving those operations under a new company here, or moving his mind share, his intellectual property. And we'll be heading up basically Legacy at Carbon, which would be a youth and adult performance training. So think about it for soccer players, football players, hockey players, or anybody who just wants to be better, become better at movement and become more resilient to injury. That's what we do. We make kids bigger, stronger, and faster. And during the day, when kids aren't there, we'll do the same for adults. Huge undertaking. I'm talking millions and millions of dollars of investment between my partners and myself. It's going to be crazy. And so that's coming up. And we officially take over June 1st. And we should have the facility 100% done by December. My part of it, Legacy at Carbon, will be up and running probably around June 1st to mid-June, but not at that location. We'll be at the current Carbon Culture, where Bryce and myself, and of course our employees, will be doing, obviously, training youth athletes as well as adults. So that's what's going on. My kids are full-fledged into travel soccer. I coach wrestling full-time, which doesn't mean I'm coaching 40 hours a week, but I'm basically the only strength coach for the wrestling program at Ravenwood High School. This is a sign from God, dude. God gave me cancer during 2 preps. He let me win that last show. He gave me the courage and the willpower and the intestinal fortitude to carry through and earn my pro card and win versus those amazing athletes, including my man Paul, who's going to win his pro card his next show. He came in second at the show, amazing athlete. And again, it was a blessing and an honor to stand on stage with those guys and earn my FBB pro card. It's not the time, but I'll tell you what, Jose Raymond and myself, we're going to keep working. I'm going to keep training. I'm going to keep working and building and doing great things. And this is just a sign to me to get my personal affairs in order. And also, I haven't had a date night with my wife in probably over 2 years. I need to get my marriage is great, but I don't want it to become ungreat. So I want to focus on marriage. I want to be able to take my wife out for sushi, right? I want to focus on my kids, and I'm not just talking about my biological kids. I'm talking about the athletes I coach at Ravenwood. You know, I got a whole bunch of kids relying on me, and I'm not going to ruin that to be selfish. But besides all that, I'm going to have a big-ass scar on my chest. I have to take 4 weeks off within 14 weeks of the show. I'm not going to be great. I'm not going to be optimal. I'm not going to disrespect the bodybuilding stage by coming in as a bodybuilder who isn't the best bodybuilder, but isn't the best version of me. So I'm already starting out not being a Brandon Curry or a Derek Lunsford. I'm starting out at a disadvantage just by being me. So if I'm not at 120%, I'm disrespecting that stage. And I promise myself I will never do that. I promise you. But I will promise you this. When I do step on that pro stage, and I'm going to keep training, dude, I'm going to be bigger and better when I do step on that stage than I would have been at the Chicago Pro. This sign from God. I'm not ready. And that's what I want to use this opportunity as well. I'm going to close it with this. It's been 12 minutes. I apologize for taking so long. I have a lot to say. Go get checked, whether you're black, brown, yellow, white, purple. Get checked annually. Get your skin checked. I've got a lot of questions when I post on Instagram. Who do you check with? Well, go to a dermatologist. If you have an HMO, go to your general practitioner. They're going to suck at it, right? Get a referral to a dermatologist, and they will be able to do it. You call in, and they have someone usually at the dermatology office or who specializes in it. And for example, my neighbor specializes in not only cancer detection, but cancer removal. So you got to go see a dermatologist. Do that favor for me. Look, dude, I don't care. Like this, obviously I want you guys to shop with me at Tiger Fitness. I got bills to pay. I want you guys to buy Ambrosia. I want you to support GNC, Carrying Outright Bars, Vitamin Shop, Carrying Ambrosia. I want you to support everything I do. Above all that, don't do any of that shit. I want you to get your skin checked. I've literally had cancer twice, and it fucking sucks. They have to mutilate my body again. I don't know if I'm going to come out with lopsided titties or what. They're literally cutting a big chunk out of my chest and then putting it back together. I might come out looking like I'm wearing a fucking Wonder Bra. I don't fucking know. I want you guys to be healthy. I want you guys to live. And no matter what you guys say in the comments about how much of a douchebag and a prick I am, I love all you guys. I'm very blessed to have you in my life. And I want you to go get checked. All right, guys? Thank you so much for watching. That's not a game.
Look, bro. Ambrosia's Kinetic is back in stock. This is the only mushroom pre-workout on the market. And literally, this is all you need.
Don't need it. I just get mushrooms from the grocery store.
The type of mushrooms that I'm talking about, you can't buy in the grocery store. You need a shaman. Now, but seriously though, reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, they do so many things. Antioxidants, not to mention the raw power that you're gonna get from the creatine. You're not gonna get this with that.
I don't eat creatine. I just eat steak.
So you'll need a few pounds of steak for the amount of creatine that we put in here.
It's all right, bro. I like steak.
Listen, man, the type of focus that you get from the ginseng, the neurofactor, the coffee bean, you're not getting that without Kinetic.
I get all the energy I need from coffee.
That's not enough caffeine. You're not going to get the same energy.
For energy, I get white powder right here.
You've lost your mind, but I still love you. Let's go train. I don't care what you're saying. We're taking Kinetic. This is all we need. Let's get out of here.